Hi everybody, Karen here from tuppenscolour.co.uk, and this is my very first ever Facebook Live. So I'm just going to hang around for a few minutes and chat for a bit before I get going, give people time to join in if they're going to. So yeah, my very first live video, actually my very first Facebook Live. I have done YouTube Live before, but because of various circumstances, I had to stop. But today I've got the house to myself for about an hour or so. So I thought that I would take the time. Oh, hello, Pat. Thank you for joining me. I thought I'd just take a few minutes to, yeah, come on live and to have a chat with you and to talk to you about some of the lovely goodies in here. This is the new autumn winter catalogue. Can't show you what's inside yet, can't show you until September the 5th, but as a demonstrator, as you know, we get to play with some of the lovely things that are inside this catalogue ahead of time, and that's what I've been doing. So let me show you what I've been playing with and what I thought I'd have a go at recreating for you tonight. Now, this is a mixture of some of the new goodies and some of the things that are already in this year's catalogue. Let me pull it out and show you. Now, I showed you the kind of work in progress a few days ago on my Facebook page, and I got as far as covering the bauble. But I hadn't finished it off. I hadn't added the reindeer, and I hadn't put it onto the backing card. So it's an MDF bauble, and I get these from eBay. Hello from Arkansas. Hello, Isa. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name, but thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, Pat. For anyone who is kind of coming in halfway or has missed this, I am going to be putting this onto my YouTube channel, and I will edit out all of the, you know, I'm waiting for people to join in and all the bits where it goes wrong. So yeah, so there will be a highly edited version of this going onto Facebook in the near future. Right, where was I? Right, so this is an MDF bauble. I get them from eBay. They're quite inexpensive. They come plain, and I've just dressed it up with some of the Designer Series paper that is in the annual catalogue. It's called Under the Mistletoe, and also the background paper is also from Under the Mistletoe, but the copper glimmer paper and these little sprigs here, can you see those? They are from the new catalogue, as is the reindeer die, and as is, if I lift this, underneath, sentiment, happiest Christmas wishes. Okay, so let me show you. This is the stamp set with that sentiment in it, and here are the dies. All right. Okay, now, before I go any further, I am going to say that this is going to be a lot of, here's one I made earlier, because normally when I do a YouTube video, I can stop the recording and I can go away and do my next bit and then bring it back. This is live, I can't do that. So all of the bits where I normally say, right, and I'm going to go over to the big shot and cut that out, I've already been over to the big shot and cut that out. Okay, just for you to be aware, just in the interests of full disclosure. Okay. So let me get started. Assuming that you want to get started, do you? You do? Okay. All right. So my starting point was this. All right. It's an MDF bauble. I got a pack of 5 from somebody on eBay. They were very, very inexpensive, and all I've done to it to prepare it is to go over the surface with a solution of PVA glue and water, and all that's done is seal the surface. Now that's kind of optional, but what it does is that it prevents the MDF from kind of sucking up all of the liquid adhesive, and it means that you use less adhesive. Yeah, so you know, can't be a bad thing. So yeah, just mixed PVA and water till it was about the consistency of single cream. That's light cream. Maybe a little bit of milk, and just painted it over. Set it on one side, let it dry, and I think I got 5 of these at a time. I did the whole batch, so they're all ready. They're all ready to go. All right. So I wanted to cover that. And to do that, I've got a piece of the Under the Mistletoe Designer Series paper. Now, my first one was in, let me bring him back. He was in copper and shaded spruce. I'm going to do this one in real red and Merry Merlot and gold, just for a change. And because I am going to be using red ink, I'm going to put on gloves, because again, this is one of the things that I would stop the video for and go away to wash my hands after I'd been playing with ink. But I'm not going to be able to do that tonight because I'm live and unplugged. So yes, this could be dangerous. Anything could happen here. Okay, so I'm now ready for surgery, and I'm going to start with some cherry cobbler ink. Now, I could have left my paper the way it, that's Merry Merlot, this one's cherry cobbler. I could have left my paper the way it is, and that would have been fine, but I found that when I put my reindeer against it, it was kind of merging into the background too much. The background was just a little bit too busy. So I just want to subdue this a bit. And if the camera's wobbling, I do apologise. I work on a picnic table. And although at the moment I've got my glass mat down on top of it, I've got it covered with a piece of wood effect wallpaper. And it does look as though it's a really solid table, but in fact it isn't. It's a picnic table, and it's quite flexible and it's quite bouncy. Okay, so that's already made that a little bit less obvious. I'm also going to do, I've got to remember this is a new kind, so there we go. I do get confused between the new kind and the old kind of stamp pads, because I'm trying to use the I'm trying to open the new kind the way I'd open the old kind, and it doesn't work. Okay, put that on one side to dry for a moment. Now I've got another piece from the same set of DSP, but a different pattern, and I'm going to use this side of it because this is going to be the backer of my card. And again, same thing. It's a lovely pattern, but when you put the reindeer up against it, they just kind of disappear. So I'm just taking this back a little bit, making it a little bit less obvious. So I hope you're all enjoying your Sunday. Don't know what time it is where you are. Where I am, it's about 7:10 in the evening. Okay, so that was my cherry cobbler. And now a little bit of Cajun craze. Why have I got Cajun craze in my head? It's Merry Merlot. Okay, and very merry it is too. It's a beautiful colour. The original was sponged with shaded spruce and a little bit of, I think I used crumb cake or soft suede just to give it that little bit of depth around the side. Okay, so let me pop those to one side and wipe and clean up my mat. Otherwise, I will put my hand in it. Gloves or no gloves, I will make a mess of it. The great thing about a glass mat, of course, is that nothing very much sticks to it. There we are. How are we doing? Yeah, we're moving along. Moving along. All right. Okay. Now, bringing back my original. Don't know whether you can see in the background all of this webby, coppery stuff. Okay, back there. Now, I am a grungy, mixed media, altered art kind of girl at heart, and I do love to take something and make it into something that looks completely different. And I'm going to take my inked piece of designer series paper and I'm going to make it look different. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take some of this stuff. This is fusible web, and it's the same stuff as you use to hem your trousers when you can't be bothered to sew. You know, the iron-on stuff that glues the fabric together. It's exactly the same as that webbing. It just comes in a big piece. So this piece is 58 centimeters by 51 centimeters, which is well, it's a good half meter, so it's a bit over half a yard for those of you that work in imperial metrics, which I have to be honest, I still think imperial. You know, my brain just works that way. So I have a coarse mat. I'm going to take my gloves off for a little bit because my hands are getting a bit warm, and also I don't need them for this bit. I probably will need them later on, and then I will forget to put them on and I will get covered in ink. Okay, that is my prophecy. That is what I am saying. And I have my bit of paper. My bit of, yeah, that is paper. Brain is not working here. And I've cut a piece of the fusible webbing to go over the top. And I have some pins here somewhere. There they are. And I'm going to put these things out of the way because I have to work reasonably fast with this. Okay, so I'm going to begin by pinning the fusible web and put them down into my mat. This is a piece of baking parchment, non-stick parchment. Okay, you'll see why in a moment. I have gold embossing powder at the ready, and I have something to collect the embossing powder in when I put it off. Oops, that's very rusty, isn't it? Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to warm the fusible webbing with my heat gun. I'm going to put it on slow speed so that it sticks to the paper underneath. And when it's warm, I'm going to shake embossing powder onto it. And then I am going to tip the embossing powder off, get rid of my excess, and then I'm going to heat it again, but I'm going to heat it on high speed. All right, and what will happen is the webbing will start to melt and stick to the paper. When I put the powder on, the powder will stick to the webbing, and when I heat it again, the webbing will break up into, it will dissolve in places, so you get all sorts of, little holes and so forth over it. All right, so it's going to be quite noisy because the heat gun's going to go on, so I hope you'll forgive me for that. And this is going to take us a couple of minutes. I'm going to start with my heat gun on slow speed. And I'm just melting. Okay, so I'm just trying to stick it down to the paper. Now what I have found is that if I start this on high speed, it goes too wholly too quickly. All right, and I lose half of it. So I'm just trying to warm it up. Yeah, warm it up and get it to clean down. There, you can see there it's stuck there around the edge here. Just to stop it from going kind of everywhere. Whoops. Oh, you see, okay, that got a little bit too hot there, so I'm going to stop this for a second, and I'm going to bring in my embossing powder, and I'm just going to dump that on top of the fusible webbing, and I'm going to tip that off. Okay, and let that sit there for a few seconds while I tidy this up, because if I don't tidy things up immediately, I go and put my thumb in it or kick it over or do something strange to it. All right, now this time I'm going to have the heat gun on high. Hi Anne-Marie. Hi Sharon. Thank you for joining me. If you've missed anything, either go back over the recording on Facebook, but I will be putting an edited version of this on YouTube in the next couple of days. So, right. So, fusible webbing, designer series paper, gold embossing powder. And there you are. Look at that. Yeah? Isn't that cool? Okay, pickled pins. Put them back in the box. And put that out of the way. Now, I have done a bit of prep ahead of time, and on the back of the paper, I have traced the shape of my bauble. All right, and I've done that ahead of time, just to save us hanging around. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to fussy cut this out. Now I made a template by putting a bauble down onto a piece of scrap card and just tracing around it, and then cutting it out and keeping the aperture. So that is what I used to cut round, but actually I could have just put my bauble onto my piece of paper and used that, and that would have been fine. And look at that. Ain't that blingy? And that's just too glamorous. So what I will do now, although I won't do it right now, will do it later, is I will just take a bit of liquid. Actually, I will do it now. Why not? Why the devil not? And I'm going to make sure I'm on the side that I put the PVA and water mixture, so that the glue doesn't just dry into it at 4 million miles an hour. And I'm just going to center that on there and push that down. Now, as you see, it's not an exact fit, but that doesn't matter because we're going to deal with that at the next stage. Right, I'm going to put that on one side to dry and let it set, because here's one I made earlier. Now, if I turn it over, you can see that on this side, can you see there? It's kind of a little bit, I've got a little bit of excess there. Didn't cut it quite to the exact shape of the bauble, and that was deliberate, because I'd rather have I'd rather have a piece of paper that was too big than one that was too small. And I have started trimming this down. So I've done all of this side and I've done halfway up this side. I just need to finish off this little edge here. And the way that I have been doing it is with one of these. It's an emery board. So all I'm doing is just rubbing down with my emery board and just keeping at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. And if you keep doing that, you keep rubbing, just keep rubbing, just keep rubbing. What happens is you will wear away the paper until it's the exact shape of the MDF underneath. Can't remember where I learned this trick from, but it was probably shopping telly. Yeah, and just this bit around the edge here. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that a nice clean finish there? There we go. Okay. I'm just going to get a little bit of Merry Merlot without gloves on. And I'm just going to go around the edge of that one more time just to catch any exposed bits of white paper. Again, not going to worry too much because the next step is going to sort it out. Okay, there you go. All right, and I'm going to close up my ink pad now. Yeah, you see, yes, I knew I'd put my thumb in it. I knew I'd put my thumb in it. All right, let's close this before I do worse on this one. Alrighty, now so far I've been using things that either aren't Stampin' Up products or are in the current Stampin' Up catalogue. But now I'm going to use something that is in the new catalogue, the autumn winter catalogue. And yeah, these are back. Stampin' Up, I believe, used to carry them some years ago, before my time as a demonstrator. But they're back. And they are the Sukniko all-purpose inks. I'm supposed to give them a shake. And this one is Vegas Gold. So I think I've shook that enough. Shake it until its balls rattle, as they say. And I'm just going to pick up some of the ink or the paint from inside the top of the bottle to begin with. Wow, look at that. Isn't that blingy? Ooh. I don't know if you can hear, my neighbours have got the soccer on. At least I think it's the soccer. And I think someone scored a goal. Okay, now, if I'm catching the edge of the paper, I'm not worried about that at all, because that's kind of the old sort of vintage, old worldy, you know, slightly distressed kind of look that I am going for. And again, this bit is completely optional, but I rather like doing it because I think it just gives it that little finishing touch. So just I think the soccer's getting exciting. wet my brush here. And I'm just going to take a cloth, and I'm just going to blot those places where I've kind of gone over the edge a bit. And just make it look like I meant it. And then it's not a mistake, it's a happy accident. I'm going to give this a waft with my heat gun to help it dry. Put the heat gun on slow speed. Ordinarily, I would just leave it to itself. And let it dry in its own good time. But as I say, tonight I'm in a little bit of a hurry. That's in the new catalogue. Let's move my mucky old cloth out the way. It's a sprig punch. And I've got a bit of Merry Merlot card here. And I'm just going to punch out a couple of sprigs. And I've got some gold glimmer paper as well. Come on, it will go through. So let's have a couple of gold sprigs. And as you can see, I've already been die cutting out my reindeer. Woo! Fired that one into my tummy. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of arrange these a bit where I want them, and I'm going to get my hot glue gun. Give that a couple of seconds to warm up. Doesn't take long, actually. It's a very good glue gun. In fact, I think it's got its own fan club. I often get asked about this glue pen, and this is what it is. I don't think they're available outside Europe though. All right, and as quick as that, it's warmed up. Yeah, you've got to show me up on camera, haven't you? There we go. It was just being shy. So, and another one. Okay, and now some super blingy ones. One there, and one there. And there you go. So what do you think so far? Oops. Okay. So now I'm going to add the reindeer. Here he is. Now, because the antlers are quite delicate and the legs are quite delicate, and because this is a 3D ornament and it's going to be sat on, probably on a tree, I hope, I wanted to make sure that this was actually quite strong. So what I did was I cut out one copy of the reindeer in the gold glimmer paper, and I did a further two in, well, actually, I think this is just craft card. I don't think it's even crumb cake. Just some reasonable weight card that I wasn't particularly bothered about using up because it's not going to be seen. So there is my reindeer to go galloping across the front of the bauble. and I'm going to put plenty of hot glue onto the back of it. So he's got a little bit of dimension. And let's place him, where should we have him? Around about there, shall we? So his antlers are kind of getting into the bling up there a little bit, but we live with it. So I've got a little bit of, got a little bit of wiggle time with the hot glue, as long as I don't go too far over where I want it to. Okay, and that's coming along quite nicely. I'm quite happy with that. All right, now I wanted a toning or coordinating ribbon to go with this, and the ribbon that I would have used, which would have been the 1/8 of an inch gold ribbon, we discontinued. All right, we retired that. So I had to improvise, and I tried a couple of different things. So one of the things that I tried was taking the Whisper White sheer ribbon and painting it with that. And all I did was just to put it down on my craft sheet, and with my paintbrush, it just kind of went along the edge there, and yeah, and painted it. So I'm going to use this for my hanging thread. Feed that through there. It's taken the paint quite well. It's stiffened it a bit, so it's not as soft as it was, but as you can see, it's worked quite, and of course, because it's the same paint as I've used on the side there, it all coordinates together very nicely. I'm just going to tie a knot in the top of it there. There we go. Right, now I've got a big blob of hot glue here, which I don't particularly want showing. I can pull some of it away, take some of it off. Right, but I'm still going to, have a bit of it there. So I want to cover that up. And again, I've got a bow of the ribbon that I coloured, so I might use that. But I've also got some of this. Now this is, whoa, how did that get? I've got hot glue on that and it got onto my hand. Ouch. This is the Whisper White Classic Weave ribbon, which is in the catalogue, and I have coloured it with Merry Merlot Rienka. So I put some Merry Merlot Rienka into a little bowl, and I added some water to thin it down a bit, and then I soaked that in it and let it dry. And then after that, and I don't know whether you can see this or not, but I sponged over the top of it with a natural sponge and some of this paint, and it's left it with a kind of, it's very subtle, but there is a kind of a mica-y shimmer in there. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yes, you can. There it is. Isn't that cool? So I'm trying to decide whether to put a bit of this on there. So if anybody's got an opinion, speak now or forever hold your pieces. Just going to tie a bow. And put that there and see how I like that. Actually, I do think I like that. I think I like that. Where's my scissors gone? Here they are. Just pull that tight. And fettle me ends, as they say. And I can bring those ends down, and they can kind of make my make my reindeer stand out a little bit more. Yes, I like it. I like it. All right. Okay. Hot glue gun. And it's still... See, having let me down at, you know, when I first tried to use it, and refusing to work, now it's being overly cooperative. So, okay, I don't want too much, just want a little spot there. And let's come in with my bow, and hold that down just for a couple of seconds. Trim off the ends. Yeah, so there's the reindeer bauble. These ends a bit as well. They're annoying me. So there's the bauble. So how are we doing for time? What do you think? Should we do the card as well? The card shouldn't take us very long. I'm only going to do the front of it. Right, where has the piece that I did gone to? Here it is. I was sitting on it. So I've cut a backing piece of cherry cobbler, which is my ruler. It is 4 1/4 inches by I think 5 3/4, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/2. And I'm going to turn that off now. It will turn itself off actually. It's quite a clever little gadget. Okay. Stamp pad. Birthmark. What else do I need? What else do I need? What else do I need? The stamp. That would help. That would really help, wouldn't it? So, should we go for happiest Christmas wishes again? All right, now this may not be the straightest in the universe because I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to do this. So, stamp buddy, embossing buddy, right, over the top so that my mucky finger marks don't get all over it. First mark, lots of light tapping. And I am going to try and get this reasonably straight. If I don't, you won't tell on me, will you? Gold embossing powder. Okay. And okay, so I've got a dry paintbrush around here somewhere. Yes, I have. So I'm just going to clean that bit up there. And get my embossing gun again. And that was pretty quick. adhesive on the back. Now, when I was doing the green one, pattern I used on that had reindeer on it, and I had to make sure that the reindeer weren't standing on their heads when I put it together. But this one is by no means as fussy. Okay, that's a little bit buckled in the corner there, but let's give it a squish. And as the adhesive dries, it will pull back into place. And all I have to do now is to mount that onto the front of a greeting card. And there I have a card and a gift all in one. So, we bring back the green one, the first one. I can show you the fully finished article. So, you know, I think that this bauble would look nice with like a winter scene on it as well, if we use the houses from Hearts Come Home. And so all I did to mount this one onto the card, if I show you, is I just mounted the card front onto a piece of, I think that's thick, very vanilla, and I just punched a little hole with a screw punch just over this side of the fold, but you could have just cut a slit if you haven't got one of those punches. And then on the inside I've just held the cord down with a piece of low tack tape, so that the recipient can they can take the bauble off and hang it on the tree if they want to, or they can leave it on the front of the card. But then you've still got a greetings card that you can put on your mantelpiece. Okay, and that is it, guys. So thank you very, very much for joining me. Oh, hello, Martha. Glad you like it. As I said earlier, if you missed the beginning, don't worry, it's going to be there on Facebook for you to go back over. And I'm going to be putting a probably slightly edited version of this onto my YouTube channel, probably around about Tuesday. So I shall probably put that up as my midweek project. Oh, thank you. Sending me hearts and love. Oh, thank you very much, Sharon. Glad you've enjoyed. So this was my very first Facebook Live. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave me a comment. Let me know, because if people are enjoying them, well, I'll do them again. But that is it for now. And yeah, thank you very, very much. Thank you, Isa. I'm sure I'm mangling your name. I'm very sorry if I am. But again, yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I'm Karen from tuppencecolored.co.uk. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. I've loved having your company. But for now, thank you so much for joining me, and goodbye.